Let's take a look at the all-new 2026 Thor Freedom Traveler A29. Now, this is a floor plan that the Freedom Traveler has had for a bit. Probably one of the best-selling couples floor plans, has an excellent layout. Just a massive full wall slide on the off-cam side here on the driver's side, which really opens up this space, giving you this giant hallway, very reminiscent of what you would have in like a diesel pusher. And for the 2026 model year, they have made some really nice changes, aesthetic changes. I think the colors are a little bit brighter. They did a good job there. And then they have some functional changes as well, like this being one of them. The fact that they went to MCD roller shades instead of pleated shades, and they went with the MCD brand, which is going to be the top name brand. Not all roller shades are made equal, and MCD are definitely going to be the thickest and the sturdiest. You will also see that they removed like the big lambrequins on the side, the big chonky boys that were out here, and they just went with a nice wood frame. You have the two-tone cabinetry. This is the Napa collection, they call it this year. Now, as far as the layout itself, if you haven't seen the A29 before, you will essentially have your living area right here midship. So you have a jackknife sofa, and that is going to be directly across here from your campsite dinette. You also have additional storage above the jackknife sofa running all the way across the top. Again, a huge window here letting in a lot of natural light. You will also see that you have cup holders back here. And if we take a look up top, not only do you have a standard outlet, again, you have USB ports and speakers on both sides. Now, if you've seen videos that I've done before, you will know that I always enjoy a campsite dinette because this is where I want to sit. I want to have a nice view out to my campsite, and that's exactly what this provides with the big window here. You also have a seatbelt on each side, so you can have an additional rider, and this one even has a tether, so if you have a little one and you need to strap in a car seat, you can do that there. You will also see that the table has cup holders for any additional passengers as you're going down the road. Plus, you have wireless charger and both USB A and C ports. Also, this right here, this table is going to be a dream dinette. This drops down to create an additional bed, a sleeping space. Not a huge one, but it is one nonetheless. Right up top, you will see some additional cabinetry. Just kind of open it up. I just want to show you the easy one-hand operation here because it is strut assisted. And then over to this side is going to be the TV. You have a 40-inch TV here in the main living area, 32-inch when we go in the bedroom. Now you'll notice the TV here in the living area is mounted on an angle, and they kind of have the best view here, whether you are going to be in the sofa or the front captain's chairs, as both of those do swivel around. The jackknife sofa, the thing I always like about a jackknife is you have good additional storage. Yes, you do have a heat duct you have to contend with a little bit there. You have to be careful of that, but you do have all this extra space here over to the side. This also drops down just like so, again, creating a sleeping space, and kind of like the dinette over to the side, while it is not huge, it will be something that either someone can curl up on, or again, if it's an additional kiddo, that does an excellent job. Moving into the kitchen, there are definitely some updates here. One of them, the black nickel hardware, I really like. You will also see the drying rack above the sink here. You have pressed countertops, which allows you to undermount the stainless steel bowl. I always like when you can undermount a sink. It just helps keep things cleaner because you don't have that ridge line here, right? You can just kind of sweep everything off nice and easy. If we take a look up top, you'll see that over to one side there's a shelf, so nice, easy kind of storage solutions there. Again, more storage here over to the side. And then we have a new suite of appliances. You will see that you have the Envision microwave as well as the hood. A lot more decorative hood here. I think that is going to be a nice upgrade. You know, a lot of times these hoods just aren't very bright, but this really brightens it up, which I like. Because a lot of times this kitchen space can be pretty dark. Not at all the case here. 3-burner recessed cooktop. Of course, you just fold the glass back. You'll also see the really nice backsplash. I really do like what they have done there. It's a real tile, and I think it just looks fantastic. Well, yes, I would have liked to have seen it spread the whole kind of length of the kitchen. At least it is going to, kind of be where you want it, even though realistically, I think I would want one here as well, but that's okay. Kind of dropping down underneath, you will see the oven, so that if you need to do some baking, you have the capability to do so. Nice bank of 3 drawers. You can kind of see that those are going to be nice and finished off here as well, and they are slow close. Underneath the sink, you have some storage, including enough space for a trash can. They do include a small one there. Me personally, I'm probably going to go like that and put 2 in there, but that's just because you know, when it's a small trash like that, for whatever reason, when it's, you know, the family, we just tend to fill it up really quickly, and I just would like to have a second one. Moving down a little bit further, we're going to get into the fridge freezer. Open that guy up so you can take a look. Again, good storage space there for the fridge freezer, kind of wrapping out the kitchen there. It has that stainless steel front, and again, it is the Envision, so your whole suite of appliances is going to match. Right across from the kitchen is going to be the bathroom, but before we head in, I do want to point out a few things. One of them, this one has dual ducted AC, and you will have 2 thermostats. One will be here, the other one in the bedroom. I'll show you in just a minute. You can also see you kind of have a quick panel here for your tanks as well as the battery and your auto gen start, because yes, this one does have auto gen start. When we go up into the cab area, we'll take a look at the 14-inch dash up there, because that's actually where you will kind of set it and control it. But coming into the bathroom itself, you'll see that, you know, it is pretty spacious. Side aisle bath here. This one does have the Suburban on-demand water heater, so you have near limitless hot water, assuming you're hooked up to city water. And then right down here, of course, is going to be the toilet, porcelain bowl, as you'd expect in a Class A. And as far as space, I mean, I have good leg room, pretty decent shoulder room here too. I rub a little bit on this wall, but it's not going to be anything that's going to be uncomfortable. You also see a dog dish in here. You know, a lot more people are traveling with their dogs, and I like that this is just kind of here, right? It's a good use of space. Otherwise, it just would have been empty. A little bit of additional storage there underneath the sink. You know, maybe fit like a couple of rolls of toilet paper, maybe some spray, something like that. Same thing over to the side here as well as right down below. You also see decent countertop space. I'm glad they didn't go with like a massive bowl, so you do have a little bit more space there. Mirror right up top, and then right over here to the side again, kind of storage all the way around. Something else that I do like, even though, you know, it might be a little annoying if you are using the toilet, is the towel bar. I'll probably put something down, you know, to soak up the water if you do. But, you know, again, I do like the fact that they have them installed already, so you don't have to try to find a spot for it. And then taking a look at the shower itself, I mean, clearly, right, at 6 foot tall, I can stand up in here, absolutely no problem. You'll also see that the shower door is going to kind of be curved here to give a little bit more room. So that way, when you are in there, you can actually turn sideways and be able to face the shower head and shower. A lot of times in RV showers, you kind of have to do this with the shower heads here. And, you know, you have to use the hand wand and stand it in a weird way. That one is not going to be a problem with that at all. Then as we take a step into the bedroom, again, as I mentioned earlier, you have a 32-inch TV right here, and that's going to be right across from where you'll be sleeping, which is where you're going to want it. And you'll be sleeping easy in a king-size bed. That way you're not going to be elbowing each other in the middle of the night. You'll also see that you have some shelving on both sides with drawers there, wardrobes on both sides of the bed, as well as additional storage right up top. Some reading lights, and again, you will have some USB ports as well as other electrical outlets, so you can charge cell phones or plug in anything you really need to. If we drop down underneath, you will see the window underneath the TV to let in some natural light. As I mentioned earlier, you have that other thermostat control right here for the bedroom. Nice big drawers down here, you know, additional drawers. You have 4 more drawers right over here, and you have a very large wardrobe. You have a 3-door wardrobe right here so that you have a ton of hang space all the way across. There's also a spot tucked away right behind this door that you can store the ladder for the cab over bunk, which we'll take a look at right now. All right, obviously if you have motorhome, you're probably gonna be driving it quite a bit, so let's talk about the cab. Both the driver and passenger seats are extremely comfortable, as you would hope. Both of them, as I mentioned earlier, will swivel around so you can watch a TV and still be able to use this space when you're at your campsite. Some different features here from the driver's seat. On the steering wheel itself, you're gonna have a couple different things. You can see you have your Bluetooth controls kind of right over here to the side, as well as a control to your rear camera, which is really nice. You'll also see that you have some different controls for cruise control, horn here, and then this one is going to have tilt as well as telescoping adjustment, just to make things nice and comfortable as you're driving down the road. Right down here, you'll see a couple different things. You have both of your fans, your driver and passenger, as well as the sunshades. And then over to the side, a couple different options. Obviously, a cup holder, always a great thing. Can never have too many. It does have heated mirrors. Of course, you have power mirror control. You will also see the auto level. You have your additional charging ports right up top here. So you have a couple of USB ports and a spot to put your cell phone. It's, you know, it's a little on the small side, but it'll work better than nothing. The other option if you want, and probably what I would do, because you have additional 3 cup holders right here, is I'm probably just gonna stuff it right there and then charge it right here in the dash. But you have a couple other USB ports right there. But 3 additional cup holders here. Again, you have mats. You want to place some additional items. The other thing I really like is that this is a plastic shroud rather than carpeted. And, you know, some manufacturers, believe it or not, are still using carpet here, but this is just so much easier to clean. And because you're coming in and out of these seats a lot, that is a pretty big deal, especially for keeping up the value of your coach. And then this is going to be an upgrade for 2026. They went to a 14-inch dash screen. This thing is big. It is awesome. Super simple and easy to use. Yes, it does have Apple CarPlay as well as Android Auto and Sirius XM. Folks, for navigation, please use a navigation system that is built for RVs, simply because, you know, if you're using like Google Maps or something, it is not going to account for low bridges and you can cause all sorts of damage. I just want to preface that. You can also see your backup camera here. There's another Freedom Traveler right behind us. And the other thing I do want to point out will be these last 2. One of them I mentioned earlier, and that's going to be your auto gen start. So you can see our batteries at 12 volts. So, you know, we probably want to kick that on pretty soon here as we start dropping down into the 11. Again, temperature 44. Man, it feels like a lot colder than that when we're outside thanks to that wind. But you can see that you can set this to all sorts of different things, from battery levels. So that way, you know, again, when it gets down to 11.5, it'll automatically kick back on. You can set a certain run time there as well. A temperature too. That's really nice if you're traveling for the day. So, you know, say it gets to 80 degrees. You want it to kick on so that way the AC can start and be able to cool thing off, assuming you don't have shore power. That's always going to be a great option. Then you have quiet time there as well. From that screen, you can just click right into here, and that will take you to your controls. So again, we can see propane as well as our tank monitoring panel there. Emergency start is here if you need it. So that's always a good thing to know. So that way, you know, if you're low on your chassis battery, you can hit that, use both your chassis and your house battery to start the coach up. And then you can see this one has tank heaters on here as well. And then of course your water pump will be there too. The other thing I want to point out, over in the passenger seat, this one does have a workstation, which is really nice. So this just folds up and out just like so that, you know, you can sit here on a laptop or tablet, you know, throw a movie on, whatever you need. And then it will have your plugins. You have a couple different ones. Again, you have 12 volts here. Also underneath, you will have your 120, so you can plug it in there. And then, like most Class A's, you have some storage right up top, but probably the biggest thing, and it's something that Thor has put in a lot of their Class A's, is this right up here, which is the bunk over cab. Anytime you try to lower it, please make sure that you take the travel locks out. Before you travel, make sure you put those back in. And then once those are removed, then you can lower the bed, simply touch a button, and it will go down. But this is great for sleeping additional passengers. The other thing I want to mention is you need to sync these motors up. So when you're lowering it or raising it, make sure you hold it for just another like 2 seconds and you will hear those motors sync back up. Make sure you do that every time. Otherwise it'll start to get a little bit off kilter. So that's just a little kind of pro tip there. But again, love that they have this here, net all the way around. Just a great additional sleeping space in a great couples coach. But without further ado, we are going to head outside. One last thing I guess I do want to mention before we do though is with the slide all the way in, folks, this is a Class A. So yes, you can absolutely get into the bathroom as well as access the refrigerator. So we take a look at the front here. Again, this one, of course, is built on the Ford F53 chassis, as you would expect with a Class A gas motorhome. You also see the nice big one-piece automotive front windshield there. Coming around to this side are going to be your side view mirrors. Now, the thing I do like about this is that Thor has built these side cameras right into the mirrors themselves. So that way you have really nice blind spot coverage. So when you put that blinker on, you can take a look at that nice 14-inch center dash, be able to see if someone is going to be there again. Really love the blind spot monitoring there. So we take a look up top, you can see the nice big power awning with LED light giving you great usable camp space. As you'd expect as well, you have the power step. So you open the door, opens up just like so. Speaking of power, this one does come with a 100-watt solar panel up on the roof, so that way it'll trickle charge the battery. And as we'll see in a little bit, of course, you also have the 4,000-watt Cummins Onan generator. Now, the compartments, you'll see this one is nice and dirty, but that is not a problem because if you notice, right over here is going to be a drain. So what you can do is just simply undo that drain, take a hose and be able to wash this right out. This is Rotocast. So that way you don't have to worry about, you know, the water, anything causing rust with anything like that, which I really like. Also the compartments, anywhere you have a compartment, you are going to have a light so that you can access it at night. A little bit earlier, I talked about this TV. This is a 32-inch outside TV here. Going back a little bit further, electrical outlet, we have our water heater here as well. But this is really what I wanted to talk about, and that's going to be the fact this one has an outside kitchen. This is something that's pretty rare on a lot of Class A's, honestly. But it's something that I really enjoy, especially being on a couples model. You know, you have great storage here for any kind of, you know, cups, or if you want spices over here, but, you know, maybe able to fit a couple bottles or something in there too if you want. You have kind of a nice little bar top area here, and you can see that you have electrical outlet, a bottle opener, love that, as well as additional spice rack here over to the side. You also see it comes with a Blackstone griddle, actual brand name. This of course pulls out just like so, nice and easy to use. You'll also see you have water access, but you have hot and cold. Oh, propane, by the way, is tucked away right here, which is really nice. This of course is meant for the Blackstone, but if you want to plug it into anything else, you absolutely can. I know I talked about 100 watt solar on the roof, but they also give you this side port. So if you want a little additional solar, you have like a briefcase style solar system, you can plug it in right there and be good to go. Coming around to the back, a couple things I want to touch on here. One is going to be the rear mounted ladder, 250 pound weight capacity, so you can climb up onto the fully walkable roof. Backup camera mounted into the rear light right up top there. Dropping down, of course, we have our fuel fill here. You also have an 8,000 pound hitch with a 7-way plug. Take a look at the size of that slide. That is a massive full wall slide on this coach, which is why this is such a popular floor plan, why you have so much room inside. Right up top, this one does have a slide out topper on there as well, so that way any pine cones or sticks or anything that fall down aren't going to jam up your seals. Dropping down underneath, as I promised, right there is your 4,000 watt Cummins Onan generator. And let's take a look at the wet bay right up here real quick, just to kind of show you, you know, your termination is going to be there. And again, you also see that you have outside shower. You have hot and cold. I really do like that. City water connection is actually going to be right outside here, so you can hook it up right there. And then again, you have a couple other connections here, both your TV as well as the 50 amp power supply will be on the other side, and that great additional storage. As I mentioned earlier, those are going to be rotocast. Again, folks, if you're interested in this one, you want to know price and availability, there is a link in the description. It is a fantastic coach. They made some great changes for 2026. Thanks for watching. I'm Ian Baker. I'm going to go inside and warm up. We'll see you.